joined by head football coach David Fulcher, and let's just talk about your initial impressions here in the first few days of practice, how you think things are going.
Well, they're not going bad. Anytime you start something new, there's a lot of miscues and a lot of young men here who are trying to impress. But it's early, and their enthusiasm is unbelievable. The guys are doing exactly what we're asking them to do, but a few are missing the boat here and there, but we'll be okay.
I like to talk about the new aspects, which you just brought up, where a lot of teams, you get a few years in the system, you've seen the players, you have an established depth chart, you can see where you can move guys around. They know how to teach the younger guys the playbook. They've had spring practices and winter conditioning. Now here you guys are, August, just thrown into practice. Here's a playbook. I don't know a lot about them. They don't know a lot about you. It kind of really puts you behind the eight ball. It's exciting, but then it's also unnerving because of all the unknown.
Yeah. We're in a tough spot because we didn't get a chance to have spring practice, and a lot of our boys are coming here directly from their hometowns and playing football. But it's still football. As long as you know X's and O's, how to catch, how to throw, how to tackle, how to block, it's still football. It's just the terminology, and some things have changed as far as what they've done in high school. But it's like I said, once again, it's still football, and we just got a lot of work to do in a short time to get there.
Now, in regards to the playbook, with it all being brand new, are you maybe introducing a little bit slower than you wanted to, so that way they can grasp it? Maybe you won't have the full playbook, and maybe until halfway through the season. Yeah,
right now what we're trying to do is just introduce it as slow as we can. Don't want to throw a whole lot at them, but yet there's a lot of stuff they have to intake. But if you're a football player, there's football smarts, and then there's just street smarts or academic smarts. And football players sometimes pick it up because it's kind of simple. The guy with the football, go tackle him. The guy on your side with the football, you block and go hit him. So it's just getting used to, the weather. The weather's kind of hot. The terminology and the different types of players that we do have. These guys are, some kids are used to having 19 kids on their team. Some are used to having 60. We got 110. So it's a little different, but I think the guys they're catching on to it.
In regards to the whole new thing, before we get back into practice, team chemistry is huge, especially inside the locker room and the leadership. And just kind of, do you see the voices starting to form in regards to who's going to take control of that locker room and who your leaders are? And are you starting to identify those guys and kind of letting them take control of the team a little bit?
Well, we are a few with some players, but I think a lot of it is I think they're still trying to find their way. Trying to get them to trust each other. It's kind of hard when you're playing against a guy you don't know, and you want to hit him and you want to do things. But we're trying to keep it simple enough for them to understand what we're doing, the way we want to practice, our tempo, and the way we do things around here. And I think the kids are starting to get it. And one thing I wanted them to understand too is they can trust their coaches. Trust in me. I'm not here to beat you up. I'm here to help you. Not just as a football player, but a man of God. I want these young men to understand why they're at Cincinnati Christian University, not just playing football, but it's also an education as well.
Now, kind of a two-part. The first part, you talk about trust, and you kind of saw that today with the defense, way ahead of the offense, and the way you run your offense with a lot of misdirection, and especially in your passing game, that just takes trust and it takes timing. And in 4 weeks, it might be a lot to ask.
And it is. When you're only playing with each other for 4 weeks, the quarterback doesn't know, how this guy runs a route. The guy who's running the route, not knowing that the quarterback's throwing it sooner or later. But once again, like I said, it's football, and if we can get the guys to realize what they have and how they work together, and it could take us to week 5. But hopefully in week 5, we're 4-1, 5-0 instead of 1-4, 0-5. But I think I got a good group of young men. I think they're ready to play.
But in regards to the trust around from the coaches, it has to help you where you can look at the guys and say, hey, I've been there. This is what you have to do. This is how you get there. And it really has to help, especially when you're starting off that new program where you can throw that really credibility. Hey, I've been there. You can listen to me. And that really has to help grab the voice.
And it does. And I think the one thing I've tried to say to everybody, just because I played college football or professional football. Doesn't mean I know everything. I know a little bit about football. But the stuff that I know, I think if you can listen to me and give me an opportunity to teach you, I think you'll be okay. And that's why the coaches that I hired, I didn't just hire coaches. I hired the David Fulchers out there, the guys who are fathers, who are mentors, who are teachers. You know, yelling and screaming sometimes doesn't get it done. But you got to be able to teach a young man the aspects and the avenues of why he's doing what he's doing to make him better.
Now go back to the on-field stuff. You know, a lot of guys look good in shells, a lot of guys look good in shorts, but you're ready to get put the full pads on and find out who can play and who can't play. You have to be looking forward to that and finally hearing those pads pop a little bit.
And yes, we are ready. You know, I think that the guys are ready. They get a chance to do that tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we will have our own little purple and white scrimmage. I think, you know, the pads kind of changed a lot of guys' attitude because some guys are pretty good with the helmet on. Some guys aren't as good with shoulder pads and helmet on. And some guys are just flat out football players when they put it on. So, you know, we're going to see it. It's coming. My main concern is keeping everybody healthy.
After Saturday, you got your scrimmage. Most likely take the day off Sunday, let people get their legs and refresh their mind. So by Monday, you think you'll have a better idea where you're at on the depth chart wise in regards to possible starters, and then you can start inserting your game plan from there?
Yeah, I think I'm hoping that is the case, that come after the scrimmage and we look at the film and try to figure out who's better at where and maybe move somebody here or do something, because we're trying to put the best 22 on the field. In this case, maybe the best 44. And our thought process is if we can go 2 or 3 deep at a position, it gives us a chance to be fresh. And I think it gives us an opportunity to win games. And I think the guys are definitely up for the challenge. But like I said, we got a lot of talent on this football team. From running backs to defensive ends to linebackers. We are pretty good. Now we just got to put the components all together and see what we got and where we can go with it.
All right, that'll do it for this interview. We'll do a recap Saturday after the scrimmage and see if you're still in a good mood or not. Then we'll come back Monday and we'll take a look at the depth chart. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
You are so welcome.